today we're just going to sharpen the cutters on the jointer. So what I mean by that is we're going to get the oil stone and we're going to give them a hone. Now when you're setting up your cutters on the jointer, straight off the grind is not sharpened. So regardless how good a grinding job you've done, you need to hone them before they're sharp. So straight off the grind gives you a burr. So the point of honing is to take your burr off. So that's what we're going to do now. These are the cutters in this machine are really due for a grind, but I don't want to grind them just yet. So we're going to set up and we're going to give them a hone, and that'll give me another X amount of time out of them before I need to pull them out and give them a grind. So how we do it, I just take a wedge, just a simple wedge here, and I just wedge the head firm so that as I'm working on it, it's not moving around on me. So I'm just going to get some oil onto the surface. Now this stone is not flat anymore, so I've got it on one side especially, but this side's not too bad. So right, so what we're going to do is all we need to do is get the, no different to sharpening a plane iron or a chisel. We just want to get the oil stone resting on that flat, because all we're doing literally is just coming over to create a burr. So we're just going to work back and forth, checking that's already got a burr on there. So then we want to run the burr off. You should be able to feel the burr transfer back to the top edge again where you started. And we're just going to keep going. It's not quite right yet. Now I'm not putting too much pressure on, just enough pressure just to hold it. Hold it there. You can see the shiny edge here where over the years where we've been rubbing. And depending on how often you've honed your cutters, that will depend on how long it takes to actually get a burr on it, and also how blunt they are. You'll find as you're doing it that some places will burr up very, very quickly, and other places will take a bit more time. And it's the same when you're running the burr off. Some places will run off really easily and other places will take a bit of time. And that's just simply because the cutter has had more work in one place than it has in another, so it's a lot blunter, or it might have created a very, very slight hollow from either previous sharpens or even just from a lack of being sharpened. It's worn a slight hollow in the iron. Now this one has really been let go a little bit too long. I should have sharpened it a little bit sooner. It'll still be okay, but I should have sharpened it sooner than I have. But like all things, you get busy. These things take time, and sometimes you just don't have the time to stop, especially if it's not too bad that it's still cutting. And this, whilst it should have been done sooner, it wasn't too bad. Like it's still cutting fine. It's just, you can feel that it needed to be done. You can also hear a jointer when they're blunt. Makes a different sound when you're using them. So I've got good burr here because this section here has hardly been used, but through the middle here it's been used a lot, and that's where the cutter has really started to wear, if you like. Wear is probably not the right word, but where it started to dull off. So that's got a good burr all the way along there now. So these cutters really need to be ground because they've got gaps in them. One of the frustrating things about dressing your own material from rough sawn timber is often the timber's stored out in gravel yards, and you get lots of little tiny rocks embedded into the timber. Sometimes they're so fine you don't even notice them, but they gap your cutters, and that's common. And it's one of the reasons why I don't like to change these cutters too soon, because I can put a fresh set of cutters in it straight off the grind, give it a hone, and the first board that I run over, I gap them, and that's frustrating. I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but I've got a gap there, I've got a gap there, I've got a gap there and there, and then one right over there. So we do this with all our two jointers and with the planer. We get the knives ground, and then we just hone them and hone them and hone them and hone them until we can no longer get a burr on them, and that's when they get pulled out and they'll get resharpened, unless they've been gapped too badly and it's interfering with the quality of the finish. They might get pulled out, but for argument's sake, the cutters on the planer, I probably get about 2 years worth of use out of them before I need to pull them out, because we just continually hone them, which keeps them sharp. These cutters have been in here for probably 12 months, and they would, as far as the grind goes, they would last a lot longer than that. It's just that they've been gapped, so they really need to. I'll probably hone them another couple of times, but they really need to be ground, really. The other reason, I don't know if I said this before or not, but I'll say it just in case I didn't. I can't get a burr on there for some reason. Not sure why. Got a nice healthy one there and through there, but I'm not getting one over there. What I was saying is, I'm pretty sure I did say it, but I'll say it again anyway, is the main reason that we pull the cutters out is just because I can no longer get a burr on them. We kind of just work with the gaps. Everything gets fine sanded and everything anyway, so you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it's frustrating. But if I was pulling them out because of gaps, I'd literally be pulling them out weekly, and that's just not going to happen. Too costly. So that's all done now. This is a 3 knife head. So that's each one of those done. And provided I don't hit anything that I shouldn't, and depending on what timber I'm dressing, of course, we should get a decent bit of life out of that before I've got to do it again. But anyway, so that's all done, and that'll be, as I said, that'll be right again now for a good little while yet. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Well, that didn't go to plan.